Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison show. You know, I said last week that I worked in the penitentiary for 5 years and I never saw a black Republican in jail. Yeah, but there were a lot of black Democrats. And we're going to do a comparison and contrast between black conservatives and black Democrats today on the Vince Everett Ellison show. Let's get this thing started. Y'all remember last week, I was saying that I worked in the prison for 5 years. And it's two things I never saw. A guilty man, because everybody said he was innocent, and a black Republican. Now, some of you would say, that's because there are no black Republicans. You would be wrong about that, son. South Carolina is a little over a third black. It's about maybe 3 or 4 million people in South Carolina, black people. About 20% of those people would be black conservatives, black Republicans. That means you got probably close to like 1 million of them in South Carolina. Based upon what you were seeing, about a third of the black male population is being locked up at any given time. So I should have been saying, at least a few 100,000 in the penitentiary. Never ran into one. And that got me thinking. So I started doing some research. And I said, out of the black Republicans who have been elected to office, how many have been put in jail for malfeasance while in office? And guess how many I found? 0. Don't say there hasn't been any. There has been some. You know there's been some. Or, Ben Carson is there. Ben Carson is there. We have 5 black congressmen now up there right now. Byron Donald is one. Tim Scott is one. We have them all over the country. There are not near as many as there are black Democrats, but there are black conservatives out there, black Republicans out there. And they're serving. But I have yet to see one that has gone to prison. Not a one. Seems like black Democrats can't stay out of jail. And so I was watching this case in D.C. I lived up in Silver Spring, Maryland for a while, so I still watch D.C. politics. I still get the Post. And they had this little guy up there, this little Negro by the name of Trayon White. His name Trayon, so you know he's black. And Trayon is a city councilman. And I think he's in Ward 8, and that was the ward that Marion Barry was over. You know Marion Barry was one of the black Democrats that went to prison. So the people in Ward 8 haven't learned anything yet because they elected Trayon. Well, Trayon does what a lot of black Democrats do. He sold his vote. He got caught taking a bribe. FBI got him red-handed, got him on tape, got everything. They walked Trayon out of his apartment. Got cameras everywhere. Locked Trayon's ass up. Trayon got his dreadlocks in. Trayon, of course, hollered racism. Trayon about 40 years old. Of course he hollered racism. And black folks say, yeah. White cop, man, the black, yeah. It's got Trayon on tape taking money. Looking right at him taking the money now. Trayon hollering racism. So they bailed Trayon out. And the Washington City Council does what it's supposed to do. They told Trayon, get your little ghetto ass out of here. You done. So they kicked him out the seat. Trayon got an attitude. So instead of Trayon taking his whooping like a man, Trayon said, no, man, I'm going to run again. Now, in any other place in America, that'd be a no-go. You got caught taking a bribe. You still got the charges on you. You got a trial coming up. The people ain't going to re-elect you. But this is inner city America, full of ICE Democrats. What are ICE Democrats again? The ICE Democrats are either ignorant, crazy, or evil. You got it? ICE. Not the ICE from Immigration's Customs Enforcement. That's the good ICE. You was going to jacking up illegal stolen paddy wagons, whooping them, and just, spraying them with mace and throwing them, taking them across the border. Alligator Alcatraz. Good ICE. This is bad ICE. Bad ICE is an acronym that's for ignorant, crazy, and evil. And these are the Democrats over there on the left. Let's do it now. Ignorant, crazy, evil. Okay? Ignorant, crazy, evil. All right? Ignorant, crazy, evil. ICE Democrats. D.C. full of them. I mean, full of them. I think it's a third. A third of them ignorant, a third of them crazy, and a third of them are evil. I mean, you be running into some mess in D.C., bro. They had their pride parade down in D.C. and nothing changed because it's just like that every day. It's a Democrat-controlled city. Bunch of freaks and weirdos around there all the time. I wish Donald Trump and the Congress would just put up martial law in D.C. They just killed that little congressional aide down there. I forget the little man's name. Y'all don't forgive me. But yeah, they killed him last week. I'm so sorry I don't remember his name. I apologize. But that's nothing new. They've had 99 murders in D.C. this year. They always have them. It's always a cesspool of violence. And the people who you elect reflect your constituency. So because you have a bunch of ghetto-minded, ignorant, evil, and crazy people, when I say crazy, I'm talking about people on drugs, people are homeless, people who really need help. But they just let them out on the street. As long as they can get them to the polls on election day, that's all they care about. So Trayon knew his district. And he knew that the people in his district were a lot like him. And so when he ran for re-election with charges on him, they elected him. So last week, y'all, Trayon White got re-elected in D.C. And now the council got to decide whether they're going to kick Trayon off the council again or not. Trayon said, you kick me off, I'm going to run again. He'll probably get re-elected again. Why? Because I said again, the Democratic Party is an evil institution. It's one of the evilest institutions in the history of the world. They got that Mamdani guy up there inside of New York. He won a Democrat primary. Talking about legalizing the sex trade, globalizing the intifada, which means kill Jews everywhere you find them. Even though all these government grocery stores are failing all over the country, he's going to open up some more up in New York City. Raise the minimum wage, I don't know, like $30 an hour or something. So all the businesses are going to leave. These guys aren't insane. They're evil. Trayon and Mamdani should both come out and say, look, y'all, what we're doing is wrong, and we don't want to hurt our city, and we don't want to hurt the people here, so we're going to go ahead and just bow out, let somebody got some good sense do this, because we don't know what the hell we doing. But that's what black Democrats do. And y'all, they've been doing it for a very, very long time. I'm just going to name you just a list of black Democrats that have gone to jail just recently. I ain't talking about this since the 1800s. Okay, you remember Kwame Kilpatrick, the hip-hop mayor from Detroit? Yeah, Donald Trump gave him a pardon. Kwame was doing like decades in prison for all kind of mess, all kind of shenanigans. So Kwame went to jail. William Jefferson, he was that congressman down in New Orleans. They caught him with $90,000 in his freezer. Yeah, William went to jail. Corinne Brown down in Florida. Corinne was doing COVID money, I think it was, something like that. Put her in jail. Shaka Fata. Shaka went to jail. I forget, I think Shaka was in Philly. He This is stealing money or something. I ain't even looked these jokers up. I knew they went to jail. John Conyers. John Conyers got caught up in the Me Too movement. John Conyers is like 150 years old, and the women say he's grabbing, going up their skirts and all kind of stuff. John Conyers got kicked out. Jesse Jackson Jr. Jackson was using his campaign account like his own little piggy bank. Oh, he buying Michael Jackson paraphernalia and clothes and gold and all kind of stuff. Jesse was living large. So they sent Jesse to jail. Mel Reynolds. Mel was from Chicago. I think Mel was doing all kind of ignorant stuff too. I know he had some little girl up in his office stripping and all kind of mess like that. They got Mel and hooked him up, sent Mel to jail. Roland Barris. Y'all don't remember Roland, do you? Roland's like a little blip in history. Roland was senator from Illinois, and Roland was black. And when Barack Obama, who was the senator of Illinois, became president, Blagojevich was the governor. And they say that Roland Barris somehow or another bought the seat to get in that Senate seat that Barack Obama had. Blagojevich went to jail for that. I don't know what happened to Roland Barris. I don't know if they just let him go home, but he stayed in the Senate for like a year. And then they told him to get the hell out. He didn't even try to run again because he knew he was done. So Roland Barris, you remember David Patterson? Yeah, he was a black blind governor from New York. You remember Elliot Spitzer got kicked out because he got caught with prostitutes? Well, Patterson took his place. And so Patterson was governor for a minute. And then they come to find out that Patterson, when he was running for re-election, come to find out he was crooked. He was taking gifts and money and all kind of stuff. So they told him to get his behind out. They kicked him out. And then, of course, you got the usual suspects. They ain't go to jail. These are the ones that should have went to jail. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton should have went to jail, but they didn't. Marion Barry went to jail. He was the mayor of Washington, D.C. Kathy Pugh went to jail. She was the mayor of Baltimore. Kathy was tried to be slick with getting money. So what she did was she had a little self-published book, and she told everybody that wanted to do business with her they had to buy a whole lot of those books. And so hospital systems and everybody was buying like 100,000 copies of the book and just putting them in the garbage can and giving her the money for it. And she was pocketing the money. They found out about it and put her in jail. Ray Nagin. Ray Nagin. He was mayor of New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina hit. You know, Ray became famous because he was cussing and raising hell, talking about, which one come down. But they found out Ray was dirty. Kicked Ray out of office. And then Bill Campbell in Atlanta. Bill was mayor of Atlanta, black man. Bill was dirty. Kicked Bill out of office. Put him in jail. Marilyn Mosby. The little light-skinned prosecutor that was in Baltimore. Was out there hyping all them people up when it came down to, what's that little dude they got? I can't think of that little joker's name. They said the police killed him up there. I can't think of his name now. Y'all forgive me. Y'all know who I'm talking about, though. Up in Baltimore when them riots and everything happened up there. Freddie Gray, yeah. When they got Freddie Gray, it said all those, I think it was 6 cops, was all involved in beating Freddie Gray to death. All them cops got off. Every last one of them. Marilyn Mosby screwed the whole case up, and then they come to find out she was dirty. She was doing what Big Tish was doing. She was lying about her mortgages so she could get more money and getting more favorable loans, lower interest loans on the property that she owned. So Marilyn, I don't think she went to jail. I think she home arrest, but she lost her office up there. And Fani Willis and Big Tish. Well, I think embarrassing. Fani Willis, I think, was the most embarrassing. She's not going to jail. But Donald Trump's people just made a fool out of her. Living in glass houses can't throw stones, right? So she's going to take the money that the feds gave her to prosecute Donald Trump. She's going to hire her boyfriend as a special prosecutor to prosecute Trump. So she gave him a lot of money. He then took some of the money and said, hey, baby, let's go. Let's have a good time with it. So they went on vacations and went to dinners and went drinking and hoeing around. And he was married at the time. That just made it worse. But her giving him the money and then him using some of the money for her made the whole thing stink to high heaven. And so she's going down. And then there's Big Tish. Big Tish. So Big Tish getting ready to hit the wall because she came after Trump. She took the headshot and missed. So now they come to find out that Tish is doing the same thing. So Tish had a property. And if you say it had so many bedrooms, you get a higher interest rate. So she said it had fewer bedrooms than it did, so she could get a better interest rate. And that's against the law, y'all. And she said it was a primary residence, and it wasn't. So now Tish going down. Y'all, these are just some of the people. And if you're giving me more time, because I know this gets redundant, what is my point? My point is the Democratic Party is a crime syndicate. I've been telling people that, I wrote a book. Why do you think I named the book Crime Inc.? Crime Inc. They're criminals. The whole lot of them. I remember when I was running for Congress in South Carolina, this is a true story. This lawyer came up to me. And I haven't been, he's a good man, so I'm not going to call his name. But if somebody asks me, I'll give you his name, you can check. Walked up to me, and I was having a fundraiser, and Lindsey Graham was giving me a fundraiser. And he walked up to me and said, Vince, Jim Clyburn's no good. I said, well, I know. He said, no, he's crooked. I said, yeah? How's that? He said, well, when the tobacco settlement was going on, this was like in the 90s, they was getting all that tobacco money from the tobacco companies. His company, his law firm was involved in a class action suit, so they was going to make a lot of money. And he was in Florence, South Carolina. And Florence at that time was part of Jim Clyburn's district. And he said that I went up to Washington, D.C. to meet with my congressman about this issue of something that they had to coordinate on. And he said that he went to Jim's office and that Jim was not in his office. They said that he was on the House floor. So he and the people with him went to the House floor and they got a page to go and get Jim out. They wanted to talk to him. So while they were standing out there, they said that a man came out, a black gentleman came out and said, who's out here looking for Jim Clyburn? They said, we are. They said, is this personal or is this business? They told him what it was about. He said it'd be $5,000. They said, $5,000? He said, yeah. He said, I'm Jim's lobbyist. If you want to talk to him and get this done, it's about money, $5,000. And he said before he could talk to Jim that day, he had to pay the lobbyist $5,000, and the lobbyist promised he'd get him what he wanted from Jim because he had paid him. That's a true story. Y'all, they're all crooked. I told you before, Governor Edwards told me he was part of the White Citizens. He was snitched for the White Citizens Council. Governor West basically told me the same. Can't you look around your communities right now and see you've been sold out? What did Bruce Hornsby say? Look out in the window, see what's going on. You know, they scream about this, they scream about that. But like I said before, black fatigue is real. And if every black person, if every black Democrat got on a ship and went back to Africa, sadly, most of America would be relieved. Complain, bellyache, whine, charge, asking for an apology, which I ain't gonna beg no man for an apology. If he gives it to me, let him give it to me because he wants to give it to me. Because if it's forced, it doesn't mean anything. All in your feelings. It's like having a bad child finally leave the house. I'm glad he gone. Don't you wish you had a child that when you saw him pull up in the driveway, you said, oh, my son said, come on in, boy. Glad to see him. It's supposed to see him come. He said, oh, man. What's this yoke on today? Never satisfied. No gratitude. And gratitude is one of the greatest attributes of man. Thank you. Thank you. No matter what they give you, no matter how small, a glass of water, thank you so much. Thank you. Instead, more, more, more. How much do you want? What will satisfy you? I don't know. And you got these bunch of crooks that's running the black community actually telling black folk, this is proper. More, more, more. Never satisfied. More, more, more. $27 trillion. More. How much do you want? Don't know. Who do I need to lock up? Don't know. Who do I need to shoot to make you happy? Can you ever be? Tell me what it will take to satisfy you. I don't know. That's the black community. Every election year, more. And America is getting tired. And then you're going to elect these bunch of ingrates, bunch of thieves, that take all the money you give them and just throw it away in a rat hole. And then got the nerve to come up to you and say, we want more. You know, I'm going to tell you again, white folks got more patience than I got. White folks got more patience than I got. I have run complete out of patience with these jokers. I don't give them any quarter. I don't argue with them. I say, you are inferior. This is America. Either get to fighting or get away. Put him in the corner. Give him a 40 and a loaf of bread. Let him sit there in his crap for the rest of his life. It's work to do. So now what are they doing? Want to force you to get involved in their foolishness. I mean, if they were destroying themselves or by themselves, that'd be fine. Go on, man, kill yourself. No. Part of the left's plan is not to just destroy themselves. They want to destroy you with them. They want you to sign off on their destruction. They want you involved in it. They want you to have to look in God's face and have God turn his back on you because you gave them the tools to destroy themselves, and they want to also force you into their foolishness. Let me give you an example. Did nobody tell black folks they couldn't educate their children? Nobody say it. They even said, we'll give you the money to do it. They went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, hey, man, it's everybody equal. We'll give you the same amount of money. They said, no, we want to force you to educate our children, and we want to force you to let us be beside you in your classroom. We don't want you here. We don't care. We won't force you. There it is, coercion. Abortion. I want to have sex, and then I want to kill the baby, and I want you to pay for it. Force a child to die, and then force the government of the United States of America to pay for it. There it again. Getting us involved in your sinful behavior. Climate change. Another one. Climate change. Okay, you want to try to save the climate. You believe that you can control the weather. Go to town, go to town, go to town. No. You got to buy an electric car. You got to put solar panels on your house. We're going to make gas so high that you can't buy it. We're going to make electric so high that you can't afford it. We're going to force you to be involved in it. We're going to force carbon credits on you. We're going to tell you can't use a gas stove in your house. We're going to decide what you can eat. Again, coercion. The left. Open borders. They come and take your job. Depress your wages. Putting fentanyl on your streets, breaking in your house, crowding out your school, making your rent go up, sleeping on your streets, taking money from government programs that are there to benefit you. Again, putting you into their foolishness. Gun control. Nobody making you buy a gun, a Democrat. You don't want a gun? Don't buy one. No, I don't want you to buy one. Not just I don't want to have one. I don't want to have one, and I'm going to make sure that you can't get one either. Now, come on, man. Why can't I have a gun? Because Trayon shot somebody yesterday, and I'm going to take your gun for it. Try it. I want you to try and take my gun. That's why I have it. For the day that you're going to come try to take it. Come on, buddy. Feel froggy and jump. Yeah, that's them. LGBTQ. I mean, if you want to get down with the dude, y'all flap around like fish on top of each other naked, that's your thing. That's your thing. Can you leave the children alone, though? Can you leave the children alone? Can you not use public education to press your sick ideology on children? Can you use it to not groom children, to teach them, my daddy's my daddy has two mommies, I mean, my two daddies, my two mommies. I'm a girl, but I think I'm a boy. Can you leave the children alone? Can you not force that on my children? Can you not have it on network TV so I have to watch it? Can you not pass laws that will make me have to let you go in women's bathrooms? Force my daughter to play against men. Let men in women's bathrooms so they can watch them. Let men in women's locker rooms. Can you just not include me in your foolishness? No, not them. Always force. Always coercion. DEI. If you want to feel inferior and don't think you can make it, that's fine. But don't get a government program to make me hire your no good, sorry, illegitimate behind. I'm inferior and I can do the job, but I want you to hire that white man that can do it and hire me. And I want you to force everybody else in your company to take classes so they can understand me better. There it is. Force. Always force. Religion. Got the freedom of religion. That means that nobody can make you practice your religion. But guess what they're going to say? We don't want them to practice theirs. We don't want it in school. We don't want it in the public square. We want to force that person to not pray to their God. Why? Because it offends me. Me. It's like the freedom of assembly, man. The freedom of assembly is very interesting because it's not so much about the freedom to come together. Because you really don't have the freedom to come together. You don't have the freedom to come to my house. You don't have the freedom to come into a private club. You don't have the freedom to come into a restaurant and not pay. There's a lot of places you don't have a right to go into. Freedom of assembly is more about the freedom of not forcing somebody to go somewhere they don't want to go. We're going to force you to come to this meeting, force you to go to that church, force you to go to that school. Not you, The freedom to say, no, I ain't going there. And you can't make me. Oh, no, not the left. Oh, you're going to go and you're going to take these DEI classes. You're going to take these LGBTQ classes. You're going to read these LGBTQ books. We're going to make you have these books in the library. If you go to these colleges and universities, we're going to make you take these classes. God, boy, these people are just stone cold evil. And you got integration. Just straight up integration. And like I said before, most people in the civil rights movement in the 60s wanted desegregation. What is desegregation? Just go where you want to go. You had most people were right there in the middle. They said desegregation, if I want to go over there, I can. If I don't, I won't. Leave us alone. Let us decide. That's it. But then you had the two extremes. They wanted forced separation, and they wanted forced integration. Ku Klux Klan, forced separation. Martin Luther King, forced integration. And most people in the middle, which is where I am. But both of these sides wanted force. Government force, which is something that most Americans said, leave us alone. So you got these black liberals, and then you got the black conservatives, the black Democrats and the black conservatives. And black Democrats want to use the government to force this Marxist communist ideology on people, especially white America. And white America is rejecting it, and they're saying, leave us alone. Even when it comes down to this whole concept about redlining, they're trying to do some gaslighting way to force mostly white neighborhoods to allow a bunch of African Americans and black people in who have not earned their way in. How you earn your way in? By having the down payment, having good credit, having a good debt income ratio. The housing crisis started. Why? Bunch of poor folks, mostly black, couldn't buy houses. Black hawkers, these ignorant Negroes, forced banks to lend money to people with bad credit. When the bank said, we'll do it if you guarantee the loans, they say you got a deal. So they started loaning out this money to these people with bad credit, like they said. They defaulted like they said they was going to do, and they told the government, ante up. Ante up, pay. We told you what was going to happen. You said we're racist. You said we're redlining. No, we're telling you we know our game. Think everything's racism when you should be educating your people properly on financial literacy. Work, save, thrift. He just don't want to loan you the money for the house because you black. So y'all, we got to deal with this. Even when it comes out to the drug thing. These jokers want to take drugs. They want to get high. And then they want you to pay for needle exchange programs and safe injection centers so they can lay down and shoot up dope all day long. And then they want you to pay for homeless shelters so they can lay on their behinds all day long and not work. And then they want free medical care so you can pay for that. And then if they ever decide to get off drugs, they want you to pay for drug rehab every time they want to go. We cannot sustain a society like this. And these no good black Democrats, the ones who are always going to jail, the ones who have no virtue, the ones that are controlled by these no good white liberals. All you got to do is just put a $100 bill on a fish hook and drag it through the black community and see who'll grab it. And that's the guy you're going to have running for office in the Democratic Party. A no good, sorry shyster. Usually a black preacher. Or usually he's been a member of the NAACP. Or usually he's been part of some civil rights organization, marching and whatnot. But they like Trayon White. And they like all the rest of these crooks that I've named you. And as I've said before, if you want yourself a better person, not perfect, but a better person to represent you in government, I've just laid out a very, very good case for you to choose a black conservative over a black Democrat 100 times on Tuesday, on Election Day. If you have a black Democrat running in your district, get away, or your city, get away from that sucker like a scalded dog. He's no good. Period. I'm making this binary for you now. If he's a black Democrat, he ain't worth a damn. If your preacher is a black Democrat, he ain't worth a damn. This is a satanic, evil institution. And they've been evil since their inception. From 1800, they were the 1860 part of slavery, 1860, 1865 part of Jim Crow. Part of the Confederacy. From 1865 to 1965, part of Jim Crow. Now they're part of transgenderism. They're part of the ghettos. They're the party of castrating little boys and calling little girls 9-month abortion. Horrible institution. King of the ghettos. Perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, thugs, hoes, and rappers. That's your Democratic Party. I've just given you a complete breakdown of the difference between the two ideologies. One's corrupt, criminal, slave-minded, anti-Christian, ghetto dwellers. And the other ones are Christian-minded, American, capitalist, upward mobility. You choose. And I'm going to keep bringing you these differences because I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. So join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.